back to the Whirlpool, where fibs and fabrications are pulled under and drowned. I'm Michael Worley. Have they come for your statue yet? I don't know what statue it is in your hometown. Thomas Jefferson, Jefferson Davis, Davis Gaines. Maybe it's a statue of your town's founder, of a famous citizen, whoever it is. If they haven't come for it yet, they will. The young people of the world have taken to the streets. They tried to bully the police, but that didn't work. Did you naive simpletons really think the police wouldn't shoot you? Or blast you in the face with pepper spray? Did you really believe heavily armed law enforcement squads wouldn't attack you just because you were being peaceful or you were a medic? As the note attached to that hypodermic needle I sat on in the movie theater that time a few years ago said, "Welcome to the real world." When they couldn't win against the cops, these youthful troublemakers chose new targets, more vulnerable targets that can't defend themselves. Statues. And the most disgusting thing of all, these statues have done nothing wrong. But Michael, what about the statues of people who owned slaves? Let me share with you an important lesson that I learned as a child. I was walking through the glorious Church of St. Veritas with my father when we stopped in the narthex and beheld the magnificent statue of the founder of the one true church, St. Veritas. My father asked me if I knew who that was, to which I replied, St. Veritas. And my father smacked me in the back of the head and said, "Wrong! That is not St. Veritas. That is a statue of St. Veritas." And as always, my father was right. That was a statue of St. Veritas, not the real St. Veritas. The real St. Veritas was on display in a hermetically sealed glass case on the opposite wall of the narthex, where his gleaming white bones stand to this day. The statue is not the man. The statue is not guilty of the sins of the man. Obviously, St. Veritas was absolved of all his sins when he performed the sacrament of extreme unction for himself shortly before he died, but you get the point.
Peace be with you, brethren. This is Cardinal Cornelius Crumbum, prefect of the One True Church's Supreme Sacred Congregation of the Inquisition. I've requested this time to address an ugly rumor that has been spreading through the Church regarding the health of our beloved primate Novatian, Archbishop of Wilkes-Barre. As the second highest ranking official in the Church, I can assure you with all confidence that the Archbishop is in fine health physically, mentally, and spiritually, and all reports to the contrary are totally unsubstantiated. The Church of St. Veritas will remain closed to public services for the time being due to the ongoing coronavirus situation, and beginning this week, all in-person visits between church members and One True Church clergy, including the Archbishop, have also been halted, though again this is totally unrelated to the physical condition of the Archbishop, which, as I have already stated, is absolutely fine. I hope this message has helped to put some of your fears to rest. May our Heavenly Father bless you until we are together again. Be at peace.
The outrage being directed at these statues is just as phony as the threat posed by this so-called coronavirus. If you want to tear something down, instead of innocent statues just standing there minding their own business, why not topple some of the many false idols that dominate our culture? False idols like Francis, the Pope of the Conciliar Church. Who does he think he is, claiming to speak for God? Of presumptive Democratic presidential nominee Joe Biden. His extremist socialist policies have no place in the land of the free. Or the fictional creations that have become the objects of so much godless worship in our depraved multimedia world, superheroes like Superman. I've mentioned my profound distaste for him a time or two before. There's a woman I know, who shall remain nameless, who owns a Christian bookstore containing a coffee bar, both of which shall also remain nameless, and she keeps an assortment of these collectible figures on her desk, the deformed ones with hideously oversized heads and soulless circles for eyes. She has a Batman, a Green Lantern, the Wonder Woman, and a Superman. Every time I see these figures, I'm filled with rage. When I think of everything they represent, when I think of the people who like them and of what that tells me about those people, I am seized by an almost overwhelming urge to smash them, to obliterate them, to strike back against every hateful thing for which they stand. And I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, Michael, if you destroy the big-headed superhero figures on your on that woman's desk, where will it end? And that's an excellent point. We shouldn't stop with the big-headed superhero figures on her desk. We should destroy all of them, everywhere. And not just the superhero ones. They make them in the images of all kinds of characters. Characters from TV shows, movies, comic books, science fiction sagas. Why not get rid of them all? But we shouldn't stop there either. We shouldn't rest until the company that makes these cursed figures has been forced out of business. After all, what are we really accomplishing destroying a few figures when the evil organization that created them is still in existence? An institution rotten enough to produce something so vile must be torn down entirely and rebuilt from the ground up, if at all. And that is something radical leftists like Joe Biden just do not understand. I'm sorry for losing my temper. I can't even look at one of those figures without getting angry. How can anyone just walk by them every day and not notice? It's disgusting. Anyway, what was I saying? Oh yeah, leave our statues alone, you punks! For the Whirlpool, I'm Michael Worley.